Hello and welcome to the first of what I hope to be a new series in its own right, as we look just over the horizon at the sequels soon to land. First on the agenda is Pokémon Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu. As only yesterday we saw more gameplay footage of the long-running series. Before we jump in, however, a brief PSA. This video is more than likely going to be copyrighted. Nintendo got a Nintendo, so there'll probably be ads on this, so apologies for that. But with that said, let's have a look at what we know. Pokémon Let's Go seems to follow the formula of the original Red and Blue games, with the game taking place in Kanto and the original 151 Pokémon to catch. Not to say that this is just a play-by-play remake, however. As well as the obvious facelift the game will receive, there are a few tweaks here and there. Similarly to Yellow, you will have an on-screen companion. Pikachu, if you are sentimental and nostalgic, or Eevee if you actually want to win some battles. I'll be throwing down with my main man Jolteon personally. As well as that, when riding, flying, or even taking a stroll of a Pokémon, they will have full bespoke sprites as opposed to the amorphous pixel blob of the original Game Boy titles. So far it just sounds like bringing new features to the old game, but the changes do keep coming. There's going to be a co-op mode which, gratifyingly, will be playable as local multiplayer, as well as the option to battle your couch companion. It won't even be a case of making gameplay sacrifices to accommodate this, as apparently the game is designed from the ground up to be playable with a single Joy-Con controller. The biggest shake-up, however, comes in the form of its link to the mobile sensation Pokémon Go. The catching system appears to incorporate the same mechanics as Go, and wild Pokémon will be visible while exploring. Furthermore, there will be apparently some kind of functionality in which progress in Go can be transferred to Let's Go, in the form of captured Pokémon. So that about summarises what we'll see. How about what we think? Let's start with what we like. Straight off the bat, we finally have a home console Pokémon game, and all my 7-year-old prayers have been answered. No more scrabbling for batteries or chargers, no more cumbersome nightlight peripherals or squinting on sunny days, and now I can play the game on any screen of my choosing. Unless you intend to play it on portable mode, of course, in which case the old charging issues will doubtless be the piss take as ever. On the subject of my 7-year-old self, it's clear that nostalgia is a huge selling point here, and while I'd normally be cynical and grounded, let me offer my rebuttal. Rideable fucking Charizard. Case closed. On top of that, they've clearly gone to some extent to make this distinguishable from the original Gen 1 game. Apparently this will take place on a similar but different timeline to Red's endeavours, and consequently there'll be new quests involved, possibly fleshing out the Kanto region into a more complete and alive world. What's more, the attack moves only used in later games will be in place here, meaning all you micromanagement lunatics will have a fresh stat tree to work on, and for those that love the cute critters of Kanto, there are clothing and customization options available for your companion. It seems therefore this is the perfection of Gen 1, and will be all things to all people. Well, not necessarily. Let's take a look at what worries us. Well, let's start with the obvious and biggest concern surrounding the release, and really it has to be the wild Pokémon battle system. Or rather, the lack of battling system. Instead of the standard, fight a Pokémon, get its health low, and then attempt to catch, you instead use the Pokémon Go method. Pelt it with balls like you're a bingo caller who's just got the sack. This does gut the entire gameplay loop of the series previous, and without the leveling and grinding that comes with the random battles, the game may quite easily become quite limp. However, there is some solace to be taken from this change, drastic though it may be. For a kick-off, it can't be denied that the surprise battles can become frustrating, especially when you've got places to be, and at least this means we won't be laboured by unavoidable status effects or buried under the weight of a million disposable trash Pokémon. I'm looking at you, Zubat. Additionally, we can say goodbye to the times of save scumming before a legendary, because you're worried you might kill it and the thing just won't comply and stay in the Pokeball no matter how many times you hit it, Lugia. Please note that after writing this, footage has apparently been shown of battles with legendaries, so forget the previous comment and be assured that any and all legendaries that faint before capturing can still go fuck themselves. Thank you. So this change may have been made with those things in mind, but then there is the issue of what there is to do after the endgame. It can feel like a bit of a ghost town once all trainers have been defeated at the best of times, but now that you can't even harass the local wildlife, I just wonder what there is to do. Catch 'em all, yes, and while this is at least plausible now with the OG 151, I'd rather it be a battle than a stamp collection. Finally, there's the Pokémon Go connection, and seemingly there will be some advantage for those that have stuck with the game and have managed to get most of the Kanto Collective. Now of course, it makes sense to bank on the explosion that was Pokémon Go, but unless you balanced it properly, you risk alienating people who didn't stick with it. In fact, I did get stuck with a need for the Go cane, but even I'm worried there'll be little point in continuing the game if I've already got most of what I need. Although this does seem to apply to a small, closed-off area in-game, so it is doubtful that this should affect progression in any meaningful way. One minor irritant for most people seems to be that your rival trainer has been described as friendly, so the fun of beating Gary, or if you're anything like me, Captain Cockend, wouldn't quite be the same. But personally, as a grade A arsehole, I like the idea of actually being the Gary in this situation. Just perpetually crushing someone who will remain constantly chippered does seem pointless, however. Either way, this isn't too different to the latter entries in the series, and I'll still give them a stupid name regardless. Overall, there has been a little negativity surrounding the changes, as the reveal trailer itself accrued 29,000 dislikes. Oh shit, did I have anything to do with it? However, all of this is a moot point for me, and I will doubtless be including it on my ever-growing wishlist. But it is important to try to keep nostalgia out of the equation and be realistic in our thinking. Pokémon is one of the greatest selling series of all time, and to change a winning formula, as it were, does create some cause for concern, and... hang on. Jesse and James will appear in the game. Shut up and take my money, Game Freak. Hi everyone, did you enjoy the video? Thanks for getting all the way to this totally not pre-recorded message. I'd love it if you could like and comment and subscribe, you have no idea how all of that helps me out. Hope to see you in the next one. Thanks as always.